Welcome back to the Old Carolina Barbecue Halftime Report, and joining me now is a two-time Olympian U.S. rugby player from Jackson High School, Carlin, Iowa. Carlin, thank you for joining us here at halftime.
Oh, thank you, man. It's a pleasure to be here.
So tell me, I don't know too many Olympians. Probably I met one maybe a couple years ago, but you might be the second one I've ever met. Tell me about that feeling when you're representing your country and you're out there and you're wearing that USA. What's that like?
It's such a surreal feeling. You know, I've been fighting for this all my life. It's been a dream since I was a childhood, and for it to come true and not only do it once but twice, it's such a blessing, but it's a testament to just hard work and being consistent.
When you were growing up, obviously you were a football guy. You really didn't think about rugby, right, until you saw something. I read it and I heard you speak at Luncheon Club the other day. Tell us a little bit about what got you from football to rugby, because I know, and I want to touch on this a little bit, you had a tryout with the Detroit Lions.
Yep. Yeah, I had a tryout with the Detroit Lions. I ended up getting signed to the practice squad. I finished out the season, but then I knew I was already playing rugby at the time, and so I took a sabbatical from rugby, decided to pursue football. That was also a childhood dream. Went to the NFL for that, and then decided to go back to rugby and do track and field. But for me, I was running track professionally before I switched to rugby. And for me, it was about, okay, how can I make a name for myself? How can I tell my story, inspire people, but also show them that you can do anything you put your mind to if you work for it? And for me, I wanted to go to the Olympics. And my best bet would have probably been 2016, and I was getting ready for the Olympics in 2012, but I'd only been running professionally at that time for maybe a year. So I had to figure out an avenue, a path where I could still use my speed, which was rugby, but also I knew I was tough and tenacious by playing football all my life too, so it kind of worked out.
Let's go back. You talked about track and field and football. You played right here at Jackson High School. You were an incredible track and field guy. I know you have a ton of records. I was looking that up today. And then you had a coach that utilized you on that football field as well, and that coach is part of our team this week, Tom McDaniels. Talk about playing for Coach McDaniels.
I enjoy playing Tom McDaniels. He's a hard-nosed, tough guy, coach.
No, not Tom.
Tom was a little different tomorrow, but he brought some great philosophies, and he knew how to use his players, which I appreciated so much. So he was a great coach.
When you were growing up, and your younger years have been pretty well documented, foster homes and things like that, and you had an incredible family that took you in the aisles, and they put you on the straight and narrow, and talk about growing up with those parents.
And my parents were a blessing. They instilled good morals and values within myself, which I still use to this day. You know, talking about being a leader, being proactive in ways, and, you know, utilizing my gift. And so for them instilling good values and within me, which I implied, because I knew that, you know, I wanted to be somewhere. I wanted to be somebody. I wanted to be either a professional of some sort, but this is what it's going to have to take. And for me, I knew that, and they taught me that, and I took that to heart.
Let's go back to rugby, because that's what put you on the map. I know you probably could have had a career in the NFL. You probably could have had a career in track and field, but you chose rugby. Why? I mean, of all the things you could have done, why rugby?
Man, rugby found me. It was a blessing. I think for me, it was about utilizing my gift and how can I find a home. You know, I've done a lot of different things, but for me, it was about, you know, for me at the time, if you weren't Usain Bolt, nobody kind of know about you. And so for me, I felt like I had so much to offer and to give. And through rugby, you know, I became the world's fastest rugby player. I went to the NFL. I ran track professionally. I went 10-1 in 100. Went 4-1 in the 40. Mm-hmm. And so rugby allowed me to not only travel the world and give me a different perspective about life, but it taught me a lot of values about life too as well. Yeah. And so for me, as long as I was able to use my God-given ability to inspire and touch people, that's what I was going to do. So no matter what sport I played, and rugby allowed me to use all my attributes.
Okay, there's rugby union and there's rugby sevens. Real quick, tell us the difference between the two.
So rugby union is 15. So that's the traditional rugby style, which is 15 on 15, 80 minutes long.
Okay.
Sevens is more of a fast pace. Okay. And so you play 14 minutes total, 7-minute halves, but you play like 6 games. So it's a lot more taxing on the energy system, but it's a lot more entertaining and fast. Yeah. So I love sevens because it suits my gifts, which is running fast.
Yeah. Well, before I let you go, I want to ask you about your current job, and then I want to ask you about the next Olympics that's coming down the road. I know you're working right now for the prosecutor's office in downtown Canton. Tell us about what you're doing and what do you like about that job?
So I work at the prosecutor's office in Prosecutor Kyle Stone, and so I'm the director for public relations and community initiatives. So I handle all internal and external communication when it comes to PR work, but also community initiative side as well, as far as crime prevention. So we do a lot of talks. We do a lot of collaborations with other organizations within our community to try to prevent crime by finding out ways. So I do a lot of data analysis to see what's happening within our office, and then how can I partnership with people to mitigate those issues that we are facing as a society.
Gotcha. Okay, the question everybody wants to know. I know you're going to be training Los Angeles next Olympics, yes or no?
Yes, man. That's my goal. I think I'm going to go for 2028.
Awesome. You heard it right here. Carlin Niles going to 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles on the U.S. rugby team. And we thank you for taking some time here and joining us at halftime. We appreciate it. And good luck to your Jackson Polar Bears here the rest of the way out.
No, thank you. And I love your continued work of being great, man. It's been such a long time, but you're still doing a great job.
Well, thank you so much. We'll be back on the Old Carolina Barbecue halftime report right after these timeouts.